Today we have a story that shows what happens when you get what you ask for. Let's jump right in. Of course the judge can read it. I'm a clerk at a civil court in Brazil. My job includes dealing with lawyers and parties who walk up to our counter, as well as dealing with all the stages of a lawsuit. A civil clerk's day-to-day work consists in mostly dealing with everything a judge would be supposed to deal with, like reading petitions, documents, and other legal stuff submitted by the litigants, type orders, and other legal documents, which will get our initials, submit the text to their supervisor, who will check if everything is okay, and then either gets the judge's signature on it, or if something is wrong, correct it and then get the signature. In almost every court, the judge doesn't even read what they're signing if they didn't type it, since they are supposed to trust the supervisor they directly appointed after all. There are, of course, exceptions. If someone submitted is very important or involves complex matters, we must send the case files directly to the supervisor, and if it's incredibly important, to the judge, who will then read everything carefully between hearings and their other work. If we sent everything directly to the judge's consideration, a huge bottleneck would be created and no one would have any work. One wet behind the ears lawyer who showed up at our counter a few years ago, however, didn't seem to understand that it's a judge's prerogative to delegate whichever task they may seem fit. The moment she opened her mouth, I knew she would be trouble. She had the classic "get me your manager" tone, which I'm sure everyone is familiar with. She also emphasized every last word in her sentences. One last thing before the story, everything here is digital. So when we submit something to someone, we actually just move the digital files in our system from one queue to another. Everyone, even judges, is mandated to obey each queue's order, unless something is urgent. The parties in the story are as follows. Me, a smiling, zealous, and upright clerk. Supervisor, the closest thing I have to a boss. Awesome, non-confrontational man who loves to maliciously comply and pretend like he didn't. The judge, aloof and busy. I've only seen her at our offices like 3 times. Doctor important. She will talk to your manager and she will have your job. Probably. The story starts in the morning of a 10-hour day for me. At this time, the courthouse is closed to everyone but lawyers. There she comes. Blonde, mid-40s, with an impatient demeanor and her bar ID in hand. She waits 30 seconds before barking, "Is there no one to serve me?" I get up. Me, "Good morning, Dr. Important. I need to talk to my initials, and I need it now." Now that had never happened before. No one ever bothers about the initials on the files. They just want to talk to a clerk. Me, "That would be me. What is the matter?" Dr. Important, "You were the one who typed this order, right?" Me, "Sure. Is anything wrong?" Dr. Important, after a scoff, "Of course there is something wrong. You typed it, not the judge." Me, and what's wrong about it?" Dr. Important, "You're just a clerk. You can't possibly do a judge's work." Now, not only do I do part of a judge's work, I probably know more about that kind of order than my judge herself, since it's a menial job in which she doesn't bother. Her case? She made a very abusive contract with a client who then didn't pay her what she expected to be paid, 80% of the client's monthly earnings for 2 years. And she was pro-SC filing it for losses with a claim of urgency. My order? Not urgent. Citation to be served via mail, the very first step in a lawsuit after the initial claim. My supervisor heard the drama brewing and came up to us. Supervisor, everything is made under the judge's supervision, Doctor. Doctor Important, I don't care. I want to talk to the judge and have her read my petition. Supervisor, I read your petition and DProx followed the correct procedure. Dr. Important, is he the judge? Are you the judge? Me, I wish. Dr. Important, after a scoff, he is so rude. Can't you do something about it? Supervisor, completely ignoring her remark, no, he is not the judge and neither am I. What is the matter? Dr. Important, oh, can no one here understand such a simple thing? I want the judge to read my petition and issue an order. Supervisor, you mean the exact same order DProx issued? I checked and she signed? Dr. Important, yes, because it will be an order issued, checked, and signed by a judge. Me, the only thing that matters is the signature though. Dr. Important, what? I thought she would burst. She got red and she started ranting about public workers' incompetence, how her taxes are funding our laziness, and how it is her right as a citizen to have the judge read her petition. While she's ranting, my supervisor looks at me and I can see the malicious compliance brewing. We wait patiently until she stops repeating the word absurd every other sentence. Supervisor, okay, doctor, I think I can understand now. You want me to put your case file in the judge's queue, Dr. Important, and do it fast. It's very important. I will come back in the afternoon to check and see if she read it. Supervisor with a huge grin, sure, ma'am, please do. Now, my judge hates to be bothered with a passion. When someone enters her office, be them workers or lawyers, they better not be wasting her time with something my supervisor or one of the clerks could have dealt with. Just so you can get the picture, we celebrated her birthday in our office and she never shows up. She pays for the cake and the celebration, but she does not attend. Me, you're not actually going to send it to the judge's queue, are you? Supervisor, she did ask it, didn't she? We're hereby forbidden to touch the case, no matter how many requests she sends, unless she gives up on her claims. The dreaded judge's queue. Most lawyers do their best for their case not to end up there. The judge's queue is meant for complicated matters that makes a case come to a halt, not urgent matters, which is a separate queue. It's about matters that will require the judge to pore over the entire case's file while consulting every law known to man. It's so low priority that at that time, the queue's first case in line got there 1 year ago. And that is a very good date considering some judges have their queues last 3 or more years. So my supervisor sends it to the judge's queue and we go back to work. My judge arrives. We only know that because she logs in to Skype, and my supervisor gives her a heads up about Dr. Important. She replies, I'll talk to her. My supervisor shows that to me and we share a look. This is very rare. The judge would normally reply, don't let her near my office. By 3 p.m., when our counter is full of litigants and lawyers, Dr. Important comes back. She pushes people on the queue and screams she has very important business with the judge. My supervisor quickly walks up to her. Supervisor, your case is in the judge's queue now, Doctor. Dr. Important, did she read it yet? Supervisor, please follow me. She will talk to you now. Now this part of the story was told to me by my supervisor, so I'm paraphrasing his paraphrasing. They went upstairs with Dr. Important complaining about everything in the building. The handrails are too high, the steps are too big, etc. And shaking a copy of her complaint around. My supervisor knocks on the judge's door and opens it. Instantly, Dr. Important's demeanor changes to a very sweet and smiling lady. The judge, yes. How may I help you, Doctor? Dr. Important, Your Honor, I humbly request you read my case. The judge, didn't you read it, Supervisor? Supervisor, of course I did. It's for losses in a lawyer contract. Dr. Important, it's very important because the judge. It's not important at all. Dr. Important, but it's urgent. The judge, not urgent. Now this was told to me by my supervisor who likes to tell stories, so take it with a grain of salt. He said the judge took the copy of the complaint off Dr. Important's hand, read the first 3 sentences aloud, said not urgent at all, crossed out the big bold urgent typed above the claim, and returned it to Dr. Important. The judge, anything else, Doctor? Supervisor, she demands you to read her entire complaint, Your Honor. The judge, is it in my queue? Supervisor, of course it is. The judge, I will get to it then. Anything else, Doctor? Dr. Important, can my case go to the regular queue? The judge, I will get to it and then see if it needs to. Some say Dr. Important is still waiting for the judge to read her case to this day. Stay tuned for commentary. Maliciously comply by liking, subscribing, and commenting the video to annoy me. Who knows, you might get featured in a video later on. Cheers.